And hey, what's going on? This is Sunshine.
And E.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back for some more reactions. Truly a reaction.
Oh yeah.
This is a true reaction.
Yeah. This is no surprise, you guys. You guys seen the title. You seen the thumbnail, so y'all know what it's about. But we're just gonna kind of give our spin and our take on it.
Yeah, the smack that was heard across the world, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like this video and you want to see more, why don't you click on the link below in the description?
All right. So we're gonna get into this, like she said. This, I guess you say slap her around the world, but it's been going on. But we're gonna get into some more comments. Before we do me a favor, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also share and comment below. So come on, let's go.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
All right. Short and sweet and to the point. But
In the history of television. Okay.
Yeah.
okay, let's go. First of all, let's say this. We didn't really want. A lot of people been hitting it right off the bat. As soon as it went down, boom, they hit it. But we wanted to kind of lay back a little bit, let kind of things settle a little bit. Plus, we wanted to see something different coming in the mix, and that's more or less what we kind of discussed, and that puts a more perspective of just what happens afterwards with the 2 people or 3 people, I guess, involved with the situation, and then the Academy Oscars. They're being the 4th person that has a little play on this. So. You want to get started and kick started?
I just want to say, I am truly and honest a Will fan. Mm-hmm. But when I saw this that night, it just took me down some notches. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know how to come back. I didn't. Okay, at first and foremost, to me, in their opinion, it didn't seem like it was a joke. It was a bad joke to me. To me, it was almost like she looks elegant. She looked elegant with it in her style. And for it to follow behind Demi Moore, now, in the movie she did, G.I. Jane. And be honest with you, I've never seen the movie, but I actually, saw pictures of Demi Moore when she did it, and she does. She resembles. I didn't think it was a bad joke at all whatsoever. That's my opinion. That's how I feel.
Okay, now do you want to just go out, or you want me to kind of hit back and forth?
Yeah, you can.
I kind of disagree with that. I do think it was a bad joke.
Do you really?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because let's use the same scenario with these actors. Let's say an actor was a decent size, decent weight, and for whatever he didn't eat or exercise, or he had a medical condition he swole up. Mm-hmm. And someone made a joke about it. That's different than if he swole up for a movie. I'm going to do this movie. I'm eating like Tom Hanks
right.
did something.
I get what
so
you're going with that.
therefore, you understand that there was nothing.
With that.
They controlled why they looked the way they looked.
Right.
So I'm saying if she cut her hair like that because she wanted to be like that, because there's other women that do. Grace Jones had kept low-haired dudes most of her career. Mm-hmm. And I think if that was a joke to her, that's fine because she made the decision. So for that, in just talking about the hair, the joke, I do think it was a bad taste, especially if he knew. But if he didn't know, then that's to me that's a little different. And to me, to elevate it beyond
And to
that,
be
not
honest
knowing.
with you, a lot of other stars said that they didn't know. Be honest with you, I had just found out like a couple of days before the Oscars. I didn't know she had it either. I'm not a
Well, I know,
I'm not a star, any celebrity, or anything. But all I'm saying is I saw it, and then she said, "You know what? I'm just gonna rock with it." So she was getting into it, and I don't know how long ago that video was made that she made.
Right.
I just found out that she had alopecia. I didn't know it either.
Right, I understand that because you don't follow like that. Those people that do follow, and I guess they would think that in the business, the show business, things like that get around and people probably would have known. I just think that maybe the two of them, Will and Jada, probably thought he knew. I'm just saying, just through circulation, even if they didn't
Whether
tell
he
him
knew,
specifically,
yeah.
especially when she publicized
Right.
everything, she puts everything out there.
Right. Both of them.
You know, that's right. So I'm just saying. So in that case, I'm thinking maybe they might have thought he knew, whether he knew or not, and he may have known. And felt it's still okay because she's, out there, and I'm a comedian. So So for me, I do think it was not a good joke. It was not.
It was poor taste.
Yeah. I like rocking with comedy, and I like telling jokes and stuff. Some places I wouldn't go in that venue, high venue. I wouldn't have done that.
Right. And then
Somewhere
in the
else,
same token, what you're saying,
Right.
when you put yourself out there,
Yeah.
you've kind of put yourself out there. So it's just like when we went to a comedy show one time and I had gotten the front row seats and you're like, you prepared that they're going to crack on you? They possibly could. And
Yeah,
I was
see,
like,
because
okay.
the comedian. Now, the comedian, because it was T.K. Kirkland who we were going to go.
Right.
Fortunately, we was off. Two things that helped us probably, I guess, if you didn't want to get jumped on. We were kind of off to the side. We were front stage, we were kind of to the side. But then there was somebody else that would look, when someone's looking out, somebody jumps out at them. There was a couple that jumped out, and that's who he jumped on. So that kind of, cause it was easy prey for him because it was right directly in front, and they had that look. If you looked, he's like, okay, that's the people they're going to. So that's kind of, but you're right. So those things you got to understand and know that there could be a situation.
right. And I mean, no disrespect to Jada as far as her condition, but you did kind of put it out there, for the world to know a lot of their personal
Absolutely.
things that went on in their life. So to me, you kind of open the door, for any comedian. I mean, that's their job. Now, granted, I like Chris Rock. I actually ran into him long before he became, big.
Right.
I'm actually more of a Will. I'm not saying I'm not a Chris Rock fan, but I'm actually a Will Smith fan more so. But it hurt me to the core when he did what he did because there was a better way to handle that.
Right.
He could have given them a look. He could have, after it was over, to the side, but to do that in public is for the whole world to see. Now, maybe he said that he had this joke, the whole world to hear the joke, but at that same time now, like Chris's brother, Tony, I ain't got a lot to lose.
Yeah,
so,
he's just kinda
he
rock.
had he had a definite lot more to lose. Will Smith had a lot more to lose by doing this than, than not doing it, handling it in that manner.
In the crowd that he runs in, true. But to the average person, it's like he already won. I would say he's already reached that plateau. No matter what happens, he don't make another cent. He's good. For the regular folks, it's like, yeah, you got a lot to lose going forward, but you good. That's like.
Well,
so
I know. So
I know that's
saying.
how some other people would look at it. But Chris Rock, The Rock, so his brother's a different kind of breed of person, man. Different kind of do it too. You got smooth rock and not so smooth rock, and so but when it comes to Will Smith, I've always felt throughout the years that he was never really he was smart enough, let's put it this way, to put himself in situations where he wasn't put in that situation to do those things. But when you go back, there was another instance where a guy tried to kiss him and he slapped the dude. Now that was one instance. Now, if anybody remember that Terry
was hands on though.
Yeah, but Terry Crews, some guy came in and grabbed his package or something, and he didn't do it. He told him he didn't do. He didn't get physical with the guy.
Wow.
So I'm just saying. And some people say he should have, and maybe he should. I don't know, but my point is, you have the ability to make a choice. So it's not just because, okay, you talked about my wife, I could automatically do this, because there's other instances that people didn't. So it's just, now you make that choice, you got to live with the consequences. So I just felt that a lot of times when you look at if you go back and look at all the issues outside of the regular people talking about him or whatever, about his rap or whatever, whenever he gets into serious issues, he does turn to that. Not always, but he seems to turn that.
Turn to what?
He turns to the more, he go on to offense. He doesn't go, okay, let me let this go, because you got the slapping, you got both slaps with this guy and the guy to try to kiss him. Then you go back to when the Fresh Prince, he had an issue. He was young, I can understand that, but he was young. Got rid of the first mom on the show. That was because, but I understand that. Who you gonna get rid of? You gonna get rid of Star? You gonna get rid of this? If that's your choice, they made the right choice. If they're trying to make money and keep the show going, so I understand. But it's because he was in his feelings about things. That's how it turned out. Seldom taking a step back and say, okay, man, let's try to figure this, let's work this out or whatever. Because really, the next Vivian that came in, they really didn't give her much to do. She just kind of filled it. They didn't really plan nothing around her or whatever. That's no slight to her. She's a good person. I seen her do others. I think I actually seen her play a prostitute one time. So she's a great actress. But I'm just saying that when he comes up against those things, it seems like more times he kind of gives into it than take that seat back. But I give him a lot of credit for not putting himself in those situations. And even the Red Table Talk with the entanglement, he had a choice. See, when you listen, people, you get it as a couple, you get a choice to renegotiate how the relationship is going to be. If you feel he didn't have to do, he can say, you know what, I know he's going to be open to stuff, but I don't know if I can take it to this level because of the stuff that's involved. Because this is a young kid and because this is our kid friend. I mean, it's just, let's not put that one out. You can't, he didn't have to do that. But he did do that, and he sat there and he took it.
He did.
But he couldn't sat here and take this. But I understand because he's
to me, and that was more serious than this. I'm just saying
it is, but I think it's the difference because most people will take it for themselves, but not for others. You would protect your child more. You would take a backseat to yourself.
I mean,
or your spouse or person. So I can understand that theory where it's not just because it's worse or better or whatever. It's just that I'm protecting somebody else. But I mean,
But a lot of people say that he was laughing when he said the joke. A lot of people say, it was a recant from the joke before that, prior to that.
Yeah,
which is it? We don't know. Only those that were there may know. If anybody was paying attention, nobody know that it was going to occur. And we did think it was a joke at first.
Right.
Because what's the Williams father's name?
Yeah, here comes
because it sounded like when I just saw this clip, it sounded like he said it.
He did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
okay.
He did say his father's name.
Okay, so that's what made you think that was okay. This is something. This little skit or something we're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, see, I think that was Chris Rock thinking that there was an ad lib going on. It was going to be comedy, so he did his part to kind of edge it along. And so when he got up there, and I think in his mind, Chris' mind said, "Man, this looked like he may do something to me, but he probably won't." That's why I don't
think he knew it was coming.
If he think that it was totally, I think the slap, he wouldn't have rolled with the slap. He kind of rolled with the slap a little bit. So I don't think the slap is what turned him all the way around. I think once it got close, he couldn't get out the way of it. It was too late to get out the way of it. He kind of rolled.
I don't think walking towards him, he showed any type of whatever he was gonna do. He took it totally by surprise. He didn't give him probably no facial anything. for Chris to think that it was anything different than, oh, he gonna come up here and say something. Oh, he gonna come recant or whatever, something he said.
Yeah.
And not realizing. And, you know, I had to give it to him. I think he handled it very professionally in this sense.
Oh,
Chris.
Yeah.
You know, getting slapped. First of all, he probably figured, like, what just happened? You know, Secondly, he had to pull himself back together. Thirdly, he probably thought the Oscars, that's why he would look to the side. He probably thought somebody was going to, something they were going to cut. Someone goes, you know, he probably thought somebody was going to come to his rescue at that moment. And it didn't appear.
Yeah.
From our perspective, it didn't appear. I don't know. We wasn't there. But it didn't appear that anybody came to his rescue. It was on his own to handle that.
I guess when you have, like, people always can, you know, kind of shoot this back and forth with the Source Awards when things went crazy. But I think this Academy says we've been doing it this year and nothing has come close. We need security. We need security to keep the people from that's outside getting in that's not supposed to be in there. These people are all right. I think that's their mentality. Yeah. So I think that was their goal is like we don't need the security here to do this. But I think he just played with it and thought maybe it was and then he did a good job. Like I said, there's a saying, he who laughs last, laughs best. And see, and we get to the point, what was his punishment? He ended up getting his punishment. Will's punishment now is what?
He had to, well, he apologized. That's the other thing I want to get into, but no, he's got 10 years that he can't attend any of the Oscars.
And it's funny, now if he holds for, oh Lord, everything.
If he holds what?
For 10 years, hopefully we're good. We had a little situation here, but if he hosts for 10 years, he's got 10 years of jokes that he could do, and he can laugh best at the end. So I'm just saying, I don't think Chris will do that. But I'm just saying, I just think that his emotions took over with Will, and I think even on the way back, sitting and there's somebody said, when the more angry you get, the less your IQ gets. So and everybody knows once you get out there, you out there. It's hard to pull back. Later on, he's like, man, I wish I'd done this. I wish I said this. And I think even on the way coming back, he kind of felt that. And then he sat down.
I think he gave it some thought.
And I think he may have got upset about the fact that Kristen said, hey, my bad, dude, this and that and other. And then he was like, okay, just make sure you don't, whatever. Because I think he still was, I ain't going to say performing, but he still had the wife to the side. Now, had she not been there and he did that, maybe he'd have let that go and say, okay, whatever, but he wouldn't have got so aggressive verbally. But I just think he's got to think of more of himself in those situations, in that environment. Now, they did the Lifelong Achievement Award for rap, and he did something like that, you know, they could go and get past that. Because in that environment, there's some level of acceptance to that, saying, okay, that you had this stuff, but we're going to be good tomorrow. That's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but these things happen. And we're going to move on and keep doing our thing. This is not a platform for that. And then what happens is somebody else coming along, the next situation coming up. Now, Chris got to maybe how I'm going to tell these jokes, what I'm going to say to who, versus I say it to him, I can dog this person out, but I can't dog this one out.
Okay, and at the Smiths' defense, they did say that previously Chris Rock had made previous jokes about them, you know, in the past. So I kind of understand, okay, maybe, you know, but maybe if they're friends, like it was said that they were kind of good friends or whatever, then maybe Chris should have came to Will before this. If you were going to say that, hey, you know, I'm going to make some jokes. You cool with that? You know, I know we had some issues before. Put it out, lay it out there. I mean, and then, you know, so then there would have been no surprise not to know that he would have thought that Will would have reacted the way he did. So, I mean, it's just a lot of different ways that this could have been.
If it was someone on stage if Denzel was up there and Denzel said, I want to crack this joke, Will, you all right? No, Denzel, don't do that. Because that ain't you. That's not what you do. You go and you act. This is his.
I'm not talking about there. I'm talking about behind stage.
That's my point. He should not have to. That's what he do.
I get it.
He shouldn't have to check with anybody about his jokes. He just got to live with the consequences if he won't go.
You're right.
But because that's his profession. Now, if it's somebody that's not a comedian, then you can say, okay, I don't want you to do that because that's not what you do. So, okay, step by. You can't tell Denzel, hey, Denzel, when you get in here, dude, hey, Denzel, come, hey, should I? No, if it's written in the script, do it. That's your job. It's his job to be a comedian. He shouldn't check. He has to self-check. Do I want to go too far with this joke or not? Do I think that's going too far? If I do, I'm going to deal with the consequences and just live and go forward. You can't be start altering these comics and how they get, because now, if he did that and it got out that I was going to say this joke, but he didn't. Now everybody's coming to the Oscar. Hey man, hey, I know so and so, but me and my wife just split up together for 14 years. She messing with the pool boy. Don't say nothing about it. Now everybody's gonna be coming up saying that. You can't give nobody. You can't let that loose. You can't open that door. You just have to decide within you. Maybe I shouldn't go there. And if he decide not to go there, no one will know. And everything will be fine. But you can't alter a comedian.
Okay, so he opens the door. Chris Rock opens the door.
Will Smith slammed the close.
What? No, and every other comedian is gonna play on it. So now it's an open book now, because now every other comedian, they're gonna joke whether they're gonna be on Will's side or whether they're gonna be on Chris Rock's side. There's gonna be some level of talk on a comedian stage.
And Chris, being a comedian, understands that. And I don't think he's gonna say, I might not like what the jokes they're talking about, but I understand. That's coming from one of his one of his acts or his routines. I like it, but I understand. He'll understand that. He ain't mad at the comedian because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you do. That's why he was done. Just like, with the joke, which I think was less offensive than this one, where he talked about you not being, where they didn't invite her to the Oscars. Yeah, Oscars. And he said, it's like me not being invited to,
So now you're not going to get invited again.
Yeah,
so I'm just saying now
but see, and if they wanted to recruit, they would go ahead and offer an invitation, but Will can't come. And what would be funny is how, and I got my issues about Jada or what I think about him, but because I don't know these people personally, I'm not gonna say that's how it is. But based on some of the things, I just think she was stepping out of bounds. But there's a lot of stuff in their relationship that maybe makes her feel it's okay. Because if y'all know what I know about Will, we put everything on the table. My stuff will pale in comparison to what he's done. Because I've actually had people that went to his shows that I know that met him backstage, him and Jazzy Jeff, and some of the things they were doing at the time. But I think he was younger at the time. I don't know if he's married or anything, but he was out there. So, this is, this is how it goes. But we don't want to prolong on these. Y'all tell us what your comment is.
No, but I want to say this,
one more thing. Go ahead.
When he got up, I do respect the fact that he was taken up for his wife. I don't know that deep down inside he felt like he was taken up for his wife. Yeah. I think he was taken up for his wife based on her reaction.
Oh yeah.
Not what he really felt inside.
Right.
It was because of her reaction.
Right.
Is what made him react. So being that said, he said he did what he did because that's what he felt at that moment. I do believe that he second guessed what he did after he did it.
Oh yeah.
So when you got up and you apologized to the Academy and this and that, to me, maybe he didn't feel like he owed Chris an apology. Yeah. So why would you, if you didn't, then why would you do it the next day?
Yeah.
I don't know that you said that. I don't know that you honestly, that might have been your publicist saying, well, you gotta order an apology. You gotta put that in writing, whatever. No, I needed to hear Will say it. I think he should have said it. If that's what you felt the next day, you should have did it right then.
Right.
Because what did you say before? You said something. We were talking.
Oh, what you mean, far as that's what he did. He should have
if he did it in public.
Yeah, he should that same venue. It should be in that same venue that way. Because down the line, you're thinking you can get creative and you get some people that work with you say, hey, you say this, don't say this, or whatever. So then that apology becomes, is that real? You don't know. But I'm gonna tell you. Listen, we're gonna get it. But listen, I'm gonna tell all couples. And they're not just couples as relationship couples, but even as homeboys or friends or people that you hang out with. You all have to have a discussion. And it takes one body part to live. And all you got to do is put that hand up here. I get it all the time.
What's that?
I get it from time to time, which is fine. But you have to have that relationship where if something is escalating, one of them's got to take that one arm and just put it across the chest. That's a sign of let's let this go. Because even if you should or you deserve to or whatever, the consequence later, it ain't worth this. All it takes is an arm. Now, in her position, the way they were seated and she didn't know it was coming, she probably couldn't do that.
Yeah, she probably.
But I think she could have had the come on, Will. When he came back, have that. Come on, we shouldn't. Then people might have had some sympathy for her, but people like she was happy. Yeah, I think.
Well, no, because when he said Will slapped the F out of me, you see her laugh.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm like, so okay, so there's no behind it. That was almost like, oh, okay, don't laugh at your jokes at me, but now who's getting laughed at? And,
right.
I don't know. I don't know how to take that.
Yeah.
It'd be different if she was still in her mood or her mode, and then when Will sat down, then maybe would have said something to him. But she reacted to his action. So
yeah. And even her, she could have said, even they made some comment. But hey,
I don't know.
We'll see down the line what happens with with this situation. This is trending and running, and then it's gonna be like this till the next thing comes along. It's gonna be in the rearview mirror soon. But like you said,
right now
people are gonna keep.
Front.
That's right. So y'all let us know what you think. Before we go, do me a favor, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also share, comment below. And like she said earlier, if you want to see more, please do us a favor. Click those links in the description below. And I do believe that's it.
That is it. Thanks for listening to
Sunshine
Sunshine and E.